Well, this is a special treat for me. As most of you know, I really try to stay focused on myself because I only care about myself. But I do love it when our station brings on talent, and we brought on quite a new one now. Mike Slater is now ours. He belongs to the first, and he joins me now. I highly recommend tuning into his show. I do. Mike, I'm in a mood, man. Welcome to the network, but I am in a mood. I understand everyone's talking about impeachment this and impeachment that, and McConnell and Pelosi and Trump and all that. Dude, 1.37 trillion. That's the spending bill that's going through, and it's loaded with more crap than I can. I mean, I don't have enough show to list all the garbage that's in this thing. Why should I give a crap about impeachment anymore, Mike?
Man,
both parties are apparently the same.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. First of all, you're the only person who can get away with an intro of, as much as I love talking about me, here's someone else. I love you for that. So I'm a conservative. I'm just conservative by my nature. I'm a conservative guy. And every once in a while, I flirt with this idea of joining the Republican tribe, right? Like going all in, being like, I'm a member of the Republican Party. And then they do something like this. And it's like, oh, this is awful. What the heck is wrong with you guys? Why are you there? What is the point of you exactly? If you are, as you said, the exact same, if not worse, than the Democrats. It's outrageous.
I have to tell you, you nailed it. You nailed it for me because this happens to me all the time, Mike. It happened to me during the Kavanaugh trial when the Democrats would make me so mad and I was screaming at them and screw everything and I'm a Republican now. And then some kid got assaulted for wearing a MAGA hat. And I like Trump, but I don't wear his pajamas. But I went out and bought a MAGA hat, just to say screw you. And then this impeachment thing, I'm mad about it. I think it's wasting the country's time. And I've been all in and all in and all in. And then I find out at the end of the impeachment thing, they were all in a back room together figuring out ways to screw me and screw my kids.
Yeah, and listen, I like Trump. Trump's done some great things, but this was one of the things that he was supposed to do, right? I mean, we talked about cutting regulations, and from what we know, like that's a thing that's happened, and I'm down with that. That's great. But the spending is the big one. Stop taking my money. This is not a hard one, Republicans. Like this should be priority number one, and it's been like the lowest priority. It's been the opposite of a priority. They've been making it worse. It makes no sense.
What if we're really screwed, Mike, and the problem is not necessarily the Republicans? What if the problem is the American people have no appetite for cutting spending? Because I'll tell you, man, I ran for Congress a decade ago, back during the Tea Party and all that, and everybody, to a man, cut spending. Obama's spending too much, cut spending. Well, you can't cut mine. Yeah, well, you can't cut what I want. You can cut what they want. What if that's just what it comes down to, man? The public says they want to cut spending, but they don't.
Listen, I'm hoping that the first, right, being a younger geared network, we can have this conversation in an honest way because, I'm on regular AM radio and it skews a little older and you're going to get a ton of people who are on Social Security and on Medicare and Medi-Cal here in California who say the exact thing that you just said. But I'm hoping there's enough young people listening now who fully realize that they're not going to see any of their Social Security promises. Like it ain't happening. And hopefully we can have a real conversation about how to get the heck out of this whole Ponzi scheme because it's going to bankrupt us all. And we have to have some principled decisions made that this is wrong. We got to get out. Even if it hurts.
It is, and no politician wants to touch it, man. And then now with the 10-foot pole, you even mentioned Medicare or Social Security. The next words out of your mouth better be how you're going to protect it, or you're screwed politically, which makes things difficult when there's 10,000 baby boomers retiring every single day. But I think you and I might be able to make a dent on it, mainly because we're so handsome. I mean, more so me than somewhat you. All right, Afghanistan. Are we ever leaving, Mike? Ever?
No. Okay. Let me jump in. Let me tell you something. I got to commend you for this. So I read the papers, the Afghanistan papers, and I thought, geez, this looks bad. This is not good. What can I say about it? Like I was hesitant to go all in. And then I saw your tweet. You sent out a tweet that said this is the biggest story of probably of the decade, if not our entire generation. And no one's talking about it, and it's outrageous. And truly, that gave me that last kick in the butt courage to say, no, wait, you know what? I'm going all in on this. This is crazy. So I appreciate you doing that because on Monday in particular on our show, we're going to break down, we're just going to go through for an hour. We're just going to break down all the outrageous things that have been released. So I want to thank you for giving me truly like that last bit of courage to speak the truth to this because it is the great outrage of our time. And I love how the way you spun it. because you said something in the tweet. You said, you said our men and women and their families deserve better. And what's so wild is a lot of people, that's their argument for staying in the Iraq war. They're like, oh, here are these people who've been injured. We need to stay forever because they deserve better. And you flipped it around. You're like, no. That's all the reason to come home, because we don't want any more people dying. So I love your take on that. It's really important.
Well, it's just because it's true, man. I mean, we have to, what gets lost, you know, in the same way when we talk about fiscal conservatism or when we talk about conservatism, conservatives make this mistake all the time of only wanting to talk dollars and cents. Well, socialism doesn't work because it's too expensive. Well, that's true, but it's also evil. It's demonically evil to rip people's lives apart like that. And the same way, we do the same thing when it comes to the war. We want to talk about, you know, well, $1 trillion and these numbers and these numbers, and we've got 20,000 wounded, and all those things are just numbers. You put a face to that, you show somebody, this guy came back, he committed suicide because of what he saw. This family, they had two kids under 3. They'll never know their father. This dad, this dad and mom, they don't get to spend Christmas in, 6 days with their son because he got blown up in Afghanistan. These stories are real, and they're still happening. And we're talking about some stupid freaking impeachment that everybody knows already the way it's going to go. And what makes this really egregious to me is we've lied to these guys. We've lied to these guys. We take our best people, our most patriotic people, and we throw them in some hellhole like Afghanistan, and we throw them over there lying to them. We have Donald Rumsfeld's quote from 2003 saying, we don't even know who the enemy is. Man, that's a disgrace. That's a national disgrace.
So, amen. And I've heard from people for years, stay the course. We got to stay the course. And now it is beyond a shadow of a doubt. What course? There is no course. There was never a course, as you just talked about with that Rumsfeld memo. And we have all these generals who said, we haven't the foggiest idea what we were doing. And that's still true. There's no course to stay. There was never an idea of what we were doing there. We should have avenged 9/11, and that's it. Come home. But that's the problem. We're never going to leave now because we have this sunk cost fallacy that, well, 2,000 men have already died. We have to stay the course so that in their memory or whatever? No. In their memory, you get out of there and make sure that more people can have Christmases at home and they're not robbed from different families. It's outrageous. Let me throw one thing your way on this. Because a buddy of mine he's been to Afghanistan a couple times. And he's kind of wishy-washy on this stuff. And his rebuttal to it was, well, we've known about this for a long time. None of this was really new revelation. We've been debating it for a long time. And, you know, if we don't stay, then, bad things will happen there. And there'll be another 9/11. What do you say to that?
Well, here's what I say to that. One, he's right, and he's right and he's right. Everybody who's been there, I mean, I still have so many of my brothers are there. They're still in there. They've rotated in and out. Everybody knew. Everybody knew this is crap. Anybody who's been in there or served read this and thought, oh yeah, that all makes sense. I knew this already. Yeah. So he's right about that. I liked the fact that it was one big expose in print that could be handed to Donald Trump and say, look what's happening. So I liked that part. But look, here's another thing he's right about, and this is the sad part. He's not right that we should stay for this reason. That part he's wrong about. But when we leave, the Taliban are still the most powerful military force in the country besides us. When we leave, they will come in, and anybody who's ever helped us will be tortured and maimed and raped and have horrible things done to them like medieval times. And our news crews, because they'll try to use it as a cudgel to beat on anyone who pulled us out, will be there filming the whole thing. And that's the problem, Mike, is I don't think the American people are ready for what will happen if we leave. It's just like we just talked about with spending. Everyone wants spending cut, just don't cut mine. Everyone wants to leave Afghanistan, just make sure it's real peaceful when we go. Well, that's not how that works. If you want to go, you're going to have to accept what happens when you go.
Yeah, that sucks. You're right. That sucks. But I'm not sending my kid over there. He's 3 years. Yeah. My son's Jack, 3 years old. I'm not sending him there so that, what? The Taliban doesn't take power? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.